Mvskoke Media presents, What is the Permanent Fund? Almost all special appropriations, loan agreements, and legislation dealing with fiscal policy passed at the Mvskoke Creek Nation reference the Permanent Fund. But what exactly is it, and how did it come to be? The history of the Permanent Fund begins on March 19, 1984, when the Mvskoke Creek Nation entered into a 7-year management contract with Indian Country USA to manage the MCN Bingo Hall at the Mackey site. The Mackey site was the location of the Tulsa Bingo operation and is now the site of the River Spirit Casino. This management agreement divided the net profits of the MCN Bingo operation between the two entities, with the Mvskoke Creek Nation receiving 60% and Indian Country USA 40%. The Mackey site is original fee land, which means that the land was never transferred back to the Bureau of Indian Affairs for allotment during the allotment process, and has remained property of the Mvskoke Creek Nation since it was transferred to the tribe by the President of the United States in 1854. The 10th Circuit Court ruled in the landmark case Indian Country USA versus Oklahoma Tax Commission that this fee land was not subject to state taxes. In 1988, the United States Congress passed the National Indian Gaming Regulatory Act. On July 10, 1989, the Mvskoke Creek Nation filed a petition in tribal court to remove Indian Country USA from the Mackey site for allegedly violating its contract with the nation. As part of the lawsuit proceedings, an order to establish an escrow account holding 40% of the net profits of the bingo operation since the start of the suit was issued in order to ensure that in the event that Indian Country USA was not found in violation, their contractual percentage of the profits would be available. While the case was in MCN District Court, the Mvskoke Creek Nation National Council passed NCA 89135, which established a permanent fund to receive 40% of the net profits of MCN-owned and managed gaming operations. The legislation stated that during any disputes or litigation with any contract management firm, no funds would be placed in the permanent fund until settlement of the dispute. The hearing resulted in MCN District Court Judge Patrick Moore ruling that Indian Country USA had violated its contract with the nation, and as a result of the ruling, the MCN assumed the daily operations of the 1,200-seat Tulsa Bingo facility. On June 30, 1994, the National Council, by unanimous vote, approved NCA 94-57, which authorized the principal chief to approve and sign a settlement agreement with Indian Country USA. This legislation opened the door for the transfer of funds from the escrow account to the MCN Permanent Fund. At this point, the escrow account was terminated, with a holding of over $7 million, which was moved into the Creek Nation Permanent Fund. The Mvskoke Creek Nation Permanent Fund is codified in MCN Code Annotated Title 37-2-203, published on the MCN website www.creeksupremecourt.com.